Hey everybody, have you ever wondered how to prune a peach tree and one that's actually diseased with leaf curl? Well, this is what I'm going to do in this video right now. Rock and So it's November here. It's getting pretty cold, so I figured I better do this right now. And anyways, if you guys remember seeing the peach tree during the summer or the spring or in my earlier videos, it had those leaves that were really curled up and they're brown. They're starting to turn brown in some spots. Anyways, that's leaf curl, and a lot of fruit trees end up getting it. And if you don't take care of it, it'll spread, and it'll spread to other trees, not only your trees, but it'll spread to like neighbor trees, and you don't want that. That sucks, because then you're responsible for all that. Well, you know, you're not responsible, but it was your fault. You should have took care of it. But anyways, it's really easy. You just buy some copper spray and you just spray it down, and I'll show you everything that is involved with that. It's fairly easy, and I'll show you how I pruned the tree. We should get some really good fruit off of this next year, because this will be my second year pruning. I think this is going to be the third year these trees have been here, so they're going to produce a little bit more peaches than they did this year for us. So anyways, let's just go ahead and get started. I will walk you through the process and everything, and I'll show you what, just basically how I prune. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to use these loppers here for the bigger stuff. I'm also going to use my snips. Probably more of these than anything, because these branches are not very big. And some people do use gloves and everything, but I don't. I'm not going to use gloves because I don't really need them. But for people who have trees, more fuller trees, they're going to be pruning more, you might want to use some gloves, but I won't be using them. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear out the middle of the tree. I don't want any branches growing in the middle of the tree, because I want the airflow to be coming through. Now, whenever next year, whenever it grows, the more branches are going to be growing within here, and you don't want it to crowd it up, and it'll block out all of your fruit and all your flowers and everything. So you want to make sure that the area is clear. You don't get mildew or white mildew or black mildew, whatever kind of mildew grows on plants. You don't want that. So you got to keep the airflow, really good. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting some of these smaller branches, like this one. I'm not going to want, and it's a first year branch. Now the second year branches are going to those are the ones that are going to produce more fruit. The second year and plus, they're going to produce more fruit, so you want to keep those as many as you can. So I'm going to keep this one and this one. So what you want is, you also want to keep the branches from hanging too low, because when they get fruit on them, they're going to be too heavy and they're going to snap. So you want to make sure that you don't have branches that are too low to the ground. I'm also going to snip the top of these main parts right here, so that this tree doesn't get too tall. It should be about 6 to 8 feet tall. I'm almost 6 feet, so this should be pruned about right here. You don't want to get this any taller for backyard fruit trees. Now, if you have an orchard, you could probably go a lot higher and everything like that. What I want is this to spread out more. Okay, see, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this whole branch off, just because it's gonna go like this, and then all these other ones are just going to branch out, and they're going to just get in the way of everything. So I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to take this one off. And the reason being, this one is going downwards. See, that's gonna, when next year, all that's gonna just be too heavy. The fruit's gonna be too heavy for it, and it's gonna extend out into my yard, and I don't want that. Now, you see all of these little things here? These are buds. Well, these are gonna create flowers, and then the flowers are gonna turn into peaches, obviously. And whenever you're cutting, if you're gonna cut on the tips, like let's say this was the main runner, and which I'm gonna do up there, is this is the main runner. When you cut your branches, you want to cut them at an angle and below a bud. You don't want to cut it above the bud, because it's going to dry out and that bud will die and you'll have like a whole dead branch there. So you want to cut it at an angle, and I'm going to do that with, I'll do it with this one right here. You cut it at an angle. See, now I don't want these branches anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. There's a bud right here where my finger is pointing, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it like this. And you want to cut it at an angle, just like that, so that when it rains and the water will run off. If you cut it like this straight, the water will sit there and it'll create disease. So you want to go ahead and do that. Cut it at that angle. Keep the tree healthier. You know what I mean? That's basically it for right now. I'm going to finish pruning this tree and I'll go ahead and show you guys the next tree and what I'm going to do with there, okay? You want 45-degree angle, and the peaches, if you have an abundant amount of peaches on the branch, it's not gonna snap. Was that a 90-degree angle, it would just snap, right? Because of the weight of the peaches. See, this is a 45-degree angle. This is good. This right here. But there is a lot of, see all the branches here. Now you got to remember, next year these are going to get a little bit longer, and they're going to have a bunch of leaves, and it's going to stop a lot of that airflow. See, the way that this is going up, these branches are going up, I want to keep that because it's going to be going up. It's going to be off of the ground, and if it gets fruit, it's going to lean and it'll be okay. But these down here, they're going to get fruit and they're going to bend, and it might snap, or it just might weigh down enough where it's hitting the ground, getting diseases and stuff. I'm going to get and snip that one. Alright, so we're here at the second tree. I put my gloves on because my hands are getting kind of cold. It's getting, the sun's going down over here. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and prune this bad boy down. It is way too tall, right? So the reason being I think it's too tall is because when it was planted, they didn't plant it correctly. They let the bottom branches go ahead and come out like this. The first year we were here, we had all these thick branches that were coming out like a sign. They're going like a V out of the ground. You don't want that. You want that V to happen about 3 feet above the ground. So this is way more than 3 feet, obviously. Since it's this high, I'm gonna have to let next year. I'm gonna have to let something grow right here, somewhere along this trunk. Is that a ladybug right there?
Yeah, that's a ladybug.
Oh, that's cool. Check it out, ladybug. Still hanging out on the peach tree. Huh. So I'm gonna go ahead and lop off the top up here. I'm gonna go a little higher on this just because this is so exposed right here on the bottom. So we have a little bit more branches that'll fruit here, hopefully. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and I'll show you trees at the end when I'm done. All right? Okay. See you later. I forgot to mention, whenever you go from tree to tree, you should always clean your blades with alcohol. And all you got to do is just get a regular cotton ball, dip it in with some alcohol, and then just clean all your blades. Anywhere the tree is going to touch the blade, so that you stop basically from contaminating your tree. You don't want to bring the disease from that tree over to this one. So make sure you do that, and I already did that and everything. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and take out this big one right in the middle. The reason why is because we need airflow, and these and the general rule is basically for each tier you should have 3 to 4 branches coming off, so you can make it go high and then have it tear off to 3, and then go up about another foot or 2 and then tear off again, just so that you have enough airflow. But this is going straight down the middle, and it's basically blocking all airflow. And so I want to get this out of here, and since it's it's now like 2 or 3 years old, I think it's going to be strong enough to survive. And then I got to prune out a lot of these other little ones, and don't want branches rubbing because they'll get disease. Don't want the low ones coming down like this. I'm gonna get rid of this whole branch because it's downwards, and if you get fruit on there, it's just gonna go like that, and it's just gonna snap. And you don't want that. Anyways, here we go. A little bit more, huh? There we go. Watch yourself. There we go. Pick out the middle branch. Okay, so this is the stuff that we're going to be using. It's called liquid copper fungicide. We do about 4 teaspoons per gallon, and I have a 2-gallon sprayer right here. And this actually says in the instructions, it says that I have to put 3 gallons worth of that liquid onto this tree. That's a lot. So, but it says small tree, and this is pretty small tree. Okay guys, so I got done with the 3 gallons. Holy cow, I don't know if you can see it. This tree is pretty soaked. But anyways, yeah, that was 3 gallons. That took a little while. I had to open up the spray. I took the tip of the nozzle off. And here, I don't know if you can see it. Took that tip of that nozzle off just so that it would open up more. And I sprayed it pretty damn good. It's everywhere now. Okay guys, all done. Well, I had to come inside because it was getting pretty cold, and yeah, I didn't want to stay out there any longer. And anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that this was the stuff that I'm using. It's called liquid copper fungicide. It's from Southern Ag. I don't know, I just found it on Amazon, so you could find it there. It's pure concentrate. It's blue, which is kind of interesting. It's really cool. Whenever you add it to the water, all the water just turns really blue. Anyway, so I sprayed all that spray on there. 3 gallons per tree. That was a lot of water. I basically pruned the trees how I usually prune them. You don't have to, follow the way I prune them exactly. There's a little bit more technique in it. It all depends if you have like an orchard of trees, because if you have a lot of room, then you can let your fruit trees grow taller and higher and wider. But mine's in the backyard, so I have to keep them kind of controlled a little bit. Even though I would like them to just go crazy and stuff, but I have to keep mine kind of down so that they don't encroach into the neighbor's yard too much and things like that. Although I think my neighbor right there by that fence is pretty cool because they have raspberries and some gorgeous roses that they grow up there, and it's, yeah, they're pretty awesome. But anyways, yeah, so make sure you guys do your homework on the pruning. Yeah, this is probably maybe my third year of pruning fruit trees, because on my other property I had some before I moved to this one, and I pruned that one too, but different type of tree. If you have different fruit trees, then make sure you do the research on that, because I heard that like pear trees and other trees, you could prune them different. Like you do want a main runner that goes up, in the middle, but for the peaches you don't really need them. I guess you can if you really want to, but I don't think it's probably a good idea not to have that main runner on a peach tree. Also, I should be, hopefully I'll be planting my garlic sometime this week, or right after Thanksgiving, so that I can get those in the ground, because they really need to be put in the ground, and I'll show you how I do that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification thing too, so that you know whenever the new video comes up, and you could be awe-inspired for next year or whenever. All right? Keep planting, keep growing, keep seeds and sharing the seeds and harvesting whatever you can harvest and grow whatever you can grow, and share your information with everybody and let everybody know how awesome garden. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Adios.